everyone, and welcome back. As always, I am your girl, Kandi Washington. And before we dive into today's celebratory episode, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, don't forget to share this. Share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. Check out the description box, our merchandise, super thanks, super chat, and all those great things. So now that we got that out the way, let's say a big congratulations to my namesake housewife, Kandi Burruss. Da, 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 da. So, as you guys may or may not know, I did not watch the last season of RHOA, but I am always a Kandi Burruss fan. So, if you guys haven't heard, Kandi confirmed, I believe it was on her Amazon Live, that she will be returning for season 15 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, making Kandi the longest running full-time housewife. Love her or hate her, think she's boring, think she's not, she has been able to be the longest running full-time housewife in Bravo history. So we have to give her flowers. We have to give her props. And I think that's pretty exciting, and I'm super proud of Kandi. So instead of just saying, oh, she made it, yay, I wanted to break down a few reasons of why I think that Kandi makes for a great housewife and why she's had the longevity in the Bravo sphere that she's had. So the first is, I think that although some people may say Kandi's boring, I don't think Kandi's boring. I think Kandi is diplomatic. She knows how to appease Andy, the executive at Bravo's, the executive at NBC's, but then she also knows how to still be messy and problematic with the girls. So I think that she knows how to straddle that fence between, boring, quote unquote, but appealing to the demographic of the people that are hiring her and cutting her checks and approving of whether or not she gets her spinoffs, right? But then I also think that she's able to still kind of be messy with Marlo, have her fallouts with Phaedra, but at the same time, every one of the other housewives, they have an underlying respect for Kandi. Whether they're rocking with her in that moment or not, there's an underlying respect for her. And we kind of saw that even kind of manifest as a threat, like, during the whole BLM era that happened, and the other girls got mad at her for going to NBC and to Bravo because she had that power and that pull. Well, you only got mad at Kandi because you knew she had the influence, you knew she had the power. And they were looking for new shows for themselves, but Kandi was looking to create opportunities for other, women, minority, Black-owned production companies to sort of be able to get a part of that Bravo NBC world. So Kandi really established herself as a good businesswoman, as someone that they can work with at NBC and Bravo, and also someone that is not just looking out for herself. And I think that's where some of the other housewives have fallen, even the other OGs. We've seen a lot of the other OGs have been fired, put on pause, let go, or like, adjacent OGs. Because I'm not sure if Kandi's actually an OG of Atlanta, but I know she's like OG adjacent, like the season 2, season 3 people, right? So I think that's one reason why Kandi has had such sustainability, not only on Real Housewives, but she's been able to successfully do spinoffs, right? She has the restaurant, she has her marriage, she has the family, blah, 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 blah. And then so she has all of these spinoffs that are viable, and she gets more than one, unlike, let's say, a Porsha who got her spinoff, and Porsha ended up like fighting with the grandmother of her child. I don't think that spinoff is going to get picked up again or come back. And now she kind of has to come crawling back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, where Kandi has been able to stay a full-time housewife and also do the other spinoff successfully, right? Look at Kim Zolciak. She was not able to do it. She was not able to stay on full time and then successfully have her tardy for the party. That ran for a lot of years, but she wasn't able to juggle both, and subsequently that has been canceled, or Kandi's been able to do that. Another reason why I think Kandi has had such longevity on the show is because we've seen her love journey, right? We've seen her be single on the show. We've seen her date on the show. We saw her find her husband on the show. Again, we all have our commentary around, little Todd Tucker and all of that stuff. But we've seen that journey. We've seen her, meet him, love him, fight with him, and then marry him, So we've seen that. And then they also show us in their marriage. They bring us into the ups and downs of their marriage when they're at their highs and then when they're at their lows. We've seen her, do surrogacy and have babies come in. So she's had that storyline. We've seen Riley grow up. So I think that's another reason why Kandi has had such sustainability, is because we've really seen every aspect of her life in an authentic way. We've seen her music journey, the whole escape situation, Kandi doing, the dungeon tour, and Kandi doing her plays, A Mother's Love. So we've seen her have all her side businesses and she brings us in. We've seen her find love. She brings us in. We've seen her have children. She brings us in. We've seen her raise her child. She brings us in. And then another thing that I think Kandi has that maybe the other women don't, or some of the other women don't, is she has an interesting family that is also willing to film. We have some housewives who have interesting families, but they can't film, or they can only film part-time, or, the ex-husband doesn't want the kids on the show, or their family is sort of, a lackluster, like Anila on, Married to Medicine. Her family's kind of a flop. Not to be disrespectful to anybody's family, but they don't really read well on TV. They're not engaging or interesting, right? But Kandi sort of has, even if she may not be independently the most provocative, interesting person, she has provocative and interesting storylines, and she's provocative and interesting people around her. Like Mama Joyce is a whole vibe. The old lady gang and the aunts is a whole vibe, right? So she's at the center of interesting people. Therefore, she's at the center of these interesting storylines. So I think that's really been a big reason why Kandi's been able to flourish on the show and on her spin-offs, right? And another thing is, I think that Kandi will have her beef with people. She'll have her moments like, I'll drag you in this. She'll have that. Her voice will shake and she'll start to cry. But at the same time, Kandi is very likable. She's like a likable person. Even when she's having the beef and you see her crying and you see her shaking, you're like, oh, Kandi, stop crying, stop shaking. And her beefs with people, she's never really a villain. She's never really a villain, if that makes sense. So like when she was beefing with Phaedra, it turned out Phaedra was the one who started that rumor about her. When she was beefing with Porsha, it turns out Porsha was the one who spilled it, who repeated the rumor. That was the lie and everything that Porsha was doing. When she was beefing with Nene, Nene ended up getting let go from the franchise. I believe this last season she was beefing with Marlo, maybe. Again, I didn't watch this last season, so I'm not 100% sure. And then, people were kind of villainizing Marlo. So Kandi's been able to have these beefs. She's been able to have drama on the show without herself becoming problematic. And I think that's the key. I think that is really the key to, Kandi said she's coming back for season 15. She's literally broke the record. She will now be the longest full-time housewife in Bravo history. And I think that is really the key, is when you can be in the mess, you can have beefs and issues with people, but you don't become the problematic person in the equation. I think that's how you have the longevity. So yeah, Kandi may not be the most interesting one. I know people try and say she's boring. I personally don't think so. I don't think she's boring. I actually do think she's interesting. But I think that's the key to it. You're in the shits, but you're not with the shit, right? And I think that's the line that Kandi has really been able to walk in a really great way. And that's why she has all of the side businesses. She has all of her other brands. She has all of the other spin-offs, and she's able to even work on other networks with like Escape and all these other things, right? is because I think that she's able to walk that line between being diplomatic with the executives and the producers. They love her because she's easy to work with. She has a team of people around her that probably speak and advocate on her behalf, so she doesn't have to do it. Unlike a Nene who will go to Twitter to air her grievances, or I feel like if Kandi has an issue with the network, her agent is probably the one that behind the scenes is talking to the people at the network, not Kandi going on Twitter and calling people X, Y, and Z's. You know what I'm saying? And then again, Kandi being able to really be likable within the group, be respected within the group, but have her issues in the group, but never being the person who we see as the problematic thing, the problematic person. Hey, Sharon. She says, hi, Kandi, my love. Hey, sweetheart. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down in the chat box below. Put it down in the comment box below. Are you excited for Kandi? Are you proud of her? I'm personally giving my namesake housewife her props. I'm giving her flowers. I think that this is amazing and I'm super proud of her. But I want to know what you guys think. Be sure to put it down below. Do you think that, Kandi has earned this? She has really paid her dues. She's earned this. She earned the right to be the longest running housewife on the franchise. Or are you more like, no, she's kind of boring. She's not that interesting. She's had all these spin-offs. She's just a Bravo favorite. There are other housewives who should come back or should never have left or whatever the case is. I want to know what you guys think. Hi, Eileen. She says, love Kandi. Me too. Me too. I love Kandi. I think she's earned this. And I'm just excited for her. I'm excited to see her win. Oh, this was the other thing. We all know that last week, Kandi did a, digital YouTube press tour, right? Where she was on like all these other like YouTuber channels and she was doing press interviews. And I think that's another reason why she's been able to have such longevity, is because I think that the network, Bravo and NBC, they really trust that she can be in those spaces, doing it. Of course, all the housewives do press, all the housewives do media, but I think it's a testament to the faith and the trust and the diplomacy that Kandi has, that the network would say, okay, Kandi, we want you to be the face of RHOA and we want you to be the person doing these press tours, talking to all of the YouTubers, talking to all the content creators in order to, drive up interest and views for the RHOA reunion. I think that they're probably trying to tap into a younger demographic. So I think that's a big reason why they were doing it. They're trying to tap into a younger demographic, and they're also trying to be more relatable to all the content creators and social media and YouTubers, right? So, hey, Sharon, exactly. I agree. She goes, I'm glad she made Housewives history. Go Kandi. I agree too. Go Kandi. We are on your side. We love you, girl. But I also think that's a big reason why she's had this longevity and sustainability, is because the network can trust her that she's going to go and she can be on a smaller YouTuber platform or a bigger YouTuber platform, or she could be on Bravo After Show, or she could be on Good Morning America. She could be on E! News. And that she's going to deliver in a diplomatic way. She's not going to, she's media trained. You know what I mean? Do I think that they maybe would have trusted Marlo to do a media tour? Probably not. Or, you know what I mean? Or anything like that. So I think that's another reason why she's had such longevity, is because she's able to play in all of the spaces. She can talk to people on YouTube and be relatable. She can talk to, bigger people on like an E! News and be relatable. She has her own, Speak On It with Kandi and After Dark, or whatever it's called, Bedroom Kandi. So I think that's another thing, she's media trained. They can trust that she's not going to, reveal anything or whatever it is. Whereas the other ladies, I really see them doing more press when it comes to they'll be on Watch What Happens Live or some with Andy, right? Or something like that. So I think that's just a testament to how much the executives trust Kandi to handle herself in a diplomatic way within all spaces. So again, Kandi, congratulations, girl. You are now the longest running full-time housewife. I personally think it is well deserved. But drop it down in the comment section. Leave her flowers, leave her congratulations. Or if you don't agree, you can feel free to leave that too. But I love you guys so much. Have a great Saturday. Continue to enjoy your weekend. And as always, take care of yourself and each other. I love you guys. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor and producer Kandi Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review and join the conversation on Instagram @Kandi Washington. Let's go!